The bridal table is so important, guys. It's the feature point where you get taken photos of throughout the whole night.
And some DIYs one you see like they have a custom logo done, but they don't use it in everything. They just use it on like one element. But why?
If you do have like a video, it's fine to have a projector screen, but also let us know.
The lighting is not bad. It just needs to be coordinated.
When you choose your venue, it's really good to look at the overall.
I'm John.
And I'm Caroline.
And this is Events by Design.
After styling hundreds of events across Australia, we've learned firsthand what truly makes an event unforgettable.
To us, an event is a debut, a moment where your vision, your energy, and your style is introduced to the world.
We're here to help you design moments that don't just impress, they connect, move, and leave a mark.
Let's design something iconic together. What's ruining your wedding look and design mistakes that you could avoid?
So first thing is my most passionate topic
Yeah,
ever
go for it.
is Bonbonnieres. Like there's been so many times, I'll tell you a story actually.
Yeah.
There were lots of scenarios, but this particular one really ticked me off where we designed like sort of like a winter type wedding where it's white and blue kind of color theme. And then like the couple brings in stuffed animals as Bonbonnieres. So they had these hot pink and yellow elephants, stuffed elephants, and then they were going to put it all in the white and blue space. And I'm just like, out of all things and out of all colors, like, does it have to be that combo? And it legit just ruined the place. And I was like, if only like our couples would like, it's fair enough that they want to bring in their own Bonbonnieres, but it's good if you have a stylist to sort of like let your stylist know what do you want to bring in, and we'll give you ideas and we'll go back and forth and figure out the right thing, because elephants are fine, but
Absolutely.
like for example, if they were in the color
It's
theme,
more so the color, dominance of the
more so
color
the
popping
colour
out
theme.
randomly.
And then it will look really good. Like for example, like there's other couples who bring in like they have a nice luxurious look with like gloss elements, very modern, very minimalistic, but then they bring in like timber cutout names, which is like a completely different theme. So that's sort of like a rustic theme in like a modern space, and that looks very, very mismatched. Like it's like if we had those names but in like gloss acrylic or something like that, then that would look really amazing. So just be careful, guys, about what Bonbonnieres you choose, and if you do have a stylist, consult with them and get some tips on what you should and shouldn't buy for your guests, because the display of your Bonbonnieres can change the look of the entire room, because every table has a Bonbonniere, so it does add quite a big element to the room.
Yeah, the next one's my favorite: fonts and stationery.
John was a graphics designer beforehand, so this is his specialty.
Oh my goodness! I'm not being a graphic design or creative snob, but I feel like the details in the fonts, as everyone in design would know, makes a difference. I mean, having like a cohesive look, and not having like all different types of font like blabbering everywhere, from your dance floor to the menus and everything like that. Cohesiveness really brings in.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with a lot of DIYs is couple make their place cards different font, and then the venue has their own table numbers, and then a separate caterer comes in and they have their own menus, and then basically when it's all on the same table, that's where you see the difference, and nothing matches. And although it's like very minor, but when you sit down at a table, there's just something that doesn't feel right. And like it's just a feeling, but you just know that it's not professionally done.
And some DIYs one you see like they have a custom logo done, but they don't use it in everything. They just use it on like one element. But why? You know? And
especially when your wedding photos come together. So when you see it all in an album, it's not like a full set. Like you'll have like, for example, your welcome sign is a different font, and then your seating chart's a different font, and then
it feels like different weddings.
Yeah, it feels like different weddings just put together. And it doesn't feel like a full set that looks really good together.
So just like branding in any business or personal branding, the same concept applies, right? Like cohesiveness and style guide. Each couple basically we create a style guide for them. And that's something that they have to think about and probably don't even know it happens while we're working with them.
Yeah, but so, then when their guests appear on
when everything comes together, it's like, wow, something looks really professional and crisp about this and together, right?
It's just like hits the nail on the head type thing.
So fonts do matter, I believe so.
Yeah, definitely.
Heaps.
The next point is about chair coverings. Don't even know where to to start with this.
Yep.
But like, obviously, sort of like more outdated venues, they normally like to use those white chair coverings on the chairs and add like a really colorful ribbon to it. And like, although it probably seems like the most convenient way to change chairs in the room, it's not the most best looking way
Super
of
popular
doing
in
it.
hotels.
Like,
Yeah.
it's super popular in hotels, but it gives a very outdated look.
And this kind of brings back like the preferred vendors list that these places have.
Yeah.
They generally just stick to the same old ways, and it really does bring the look down.
Yeah, it really does. Whereas this, for the same price, or like, you know, just $1 more
Absolutely,
or something like
yeah.
that, you could change the chairs completely, and that completely changes the look of the venue
Yep.
and makes the venue look so much better.
A lot of them have like conferencey chairs,
Yeah.
or really old chairs and stuff like that. So just generally happens in venues where they have the same old vendors that they use consistently, and you know,
And they've been on the list for like
they've been
20
on a list
years.
for like legit 20 years or something, and it works for them, which is fine. But again, that's being lazy and not looking at what could work and elevate the couple's experience.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, like a chair could just cost the same as the chair covers and take the same amount of time to actually do and remove. So it's an absolute no-brainer.
Yeah.
Hey, just quickly,
If you're looking for a wedding stylist so that you can have a stress-free, seamless and premium wedding design all completely done for you,
visit the link in the show notes to book your creative consultation.
let's bring your wedding vision to life.
Now back to the episode. I always love it when we speak to somebody, whether it's a couple or the venue coordinator, and they mention chair covers. Oh, chair covers look great. And then I'm just like waiting for Carol to jump in, because I know she always comes in and say, nah.
Sorry, cut. And then that also brings us to lighting. Sometimes couples obviously love to party for their wedding, which is great. We love that. We love the ambience, the atmosphere.
There's good lighting and
There's
bad
good
lighting,
lighting
right?
and bad lighting,
Yeah.
So sometimes they have these DJs come in and they bring in their full lighting set, and they sort of like don't coordinate with the rest of the venue lighting or with us either. So it's sort of like you could have like a really nice, elegant atmosphere,
Absolutely.
but then they bring in these lights and it's all colorful, rainbow color lights, and they're just shining on all the tables, and it completely changes the ambience. So it's sort of like there is a time for those lighting, like later in the night.
Agree.
But like when you're doing your entry or when your guest comes into the room, it'll be good to coordinate your DJ with your stylist or the venue lighting to create that real ambience.
So lighting is not bad. It just needs to be coordinated.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Even venue lighting needs to be coordinated
Absolutely.
sometimes.
And that's what we do, right?
yeah.
We work with the venue and the lighting AV guy.
Yeah.
And we talk about even different lightings for different scenes during the night.
Yeah, that's right. And
to
the
set the
lighting can
mood.
change in different ways to change up the mood. Like, for example, pin spot lighting. We love pin spot lighting from the venue because that highlights the centerpiece in the middle of the table and just makes it really, really ambient. And then obviously there's like the up lighting or the mood lighting in the room. So when your guests come in, it could be one color, but then when the first dance comes, like we dim down all the lights and change it to a different color, and it'll look really good. And then when the party does start, then we can also, that's when the DJ comes in.
I know this is something you hate too, projector screens in venues. What are your thoughts? Come on.
It's great that couples want to show their video or photos or whatnot. I would say
There's ways around
there's
it
ways
to
around
make it look
it.
better.
For example, like in the foyer, we could have all these prints, and they could be like a really nice display in itself, and people want to take photos with them. But if you do have like a video, it's fine to have a projector screen, but also let us know that you are going to have a projector screen, because then we create sort of like a
Screensavers,
screensaver.
yeah.
Yes, but that's in like their names, but we in the same font as everything else, and so, or in the same color as well. So when the projector screen's up, it's not just like a blue like just empty screen, or like a pause photo or something like that.
There's be a placeholder screen. We even create that and design it for you Eva as well.
Yeah, so it looks a part of the whole design rather than just to stand out on its own. And it's also such a big element in the room that it can change the
It could be an eyesore, or it could actually enhance the space, right?
Yeah, definitely. That's the best way to put it. Another thing is venue choice and the carpets in the space. So when you choose your venue, it's really good to look at the overall, so like walls, ceilings, floors, and whether it matches with your theme.
Yeah, because there's such a big space, right? They take up such a whole space, and as stylists, the more you have to fix or cover up, then obviously, you know,
more cost will
the
be.
more cost will
Yeah.
be, and it just goes from there. We can definitely do that.
Yeah.
But just to help the couples, if they've chosen a venue that they do like, but if they don't actually like the interiors and feel like a lot needs to be done to it, if it's a must-have that they really, really want that venue, then go for it. But if they can have other choices and shortlisted options that have better interiors or as overall, I'll definitely go for that. Because then the styling just makes it easier and complements the space, you know?
It enhances the space.
Yeah,
Rather
absolutely.
than trying to cover up the space.
Because you just be covering up otherwise, and you lose the essence of the venue itself, unless that's the actual goal, right? Yeah.
Yeah. The next point we wanted to make is about bridal tables. So the bridal table is so important, guys. Like, it's the feature point where you get taken photos of throughout the whole night. Like when you do your entry, when you do your first dance, when you cut the cake, when you do your speeches, it's all in front of the bridal table. So making that the feature when you walk in and throughout the whole night, the guests will be looking at that point. So making that really, really pretty is sort of like the main thing to invest in.
Yeah.
So we've seen like venues where they just have a blank wall behind the bridal table, or it's just windows. Windows are really nice if they have a view, but that's only before sunset. So like you could see the view throughout the daytime. It looks really nice when the sun goes down. But as soon as the sun is gone, it's pitch black windows behind you.
Yeah.
And you know what? It reflects. So it reflects everything in the
Yeah.
room. So if photographer's trying to take a photo of you guys, there's a reflection of the photographer in the back, or there's a reflection of all the guests in the background, and it just does not look good. So we really, really recommend having a bridal backdrop behind it. So if it's a window, we don't need to cover up the windows completely. You still want to have that sunset vibe or whatnot. But then like at the night when it comes down, like the uplightings goes up on the flowers, and then it sort of like
the
takes
ambience.
away sort of like that window vibe, and you just see like really nice flowers in front of you, and that takes your eyes away from everything else.
So a
And
good
really
thing to think
for the
about
photos.
with backdrops and stuff like that, with bridal backdrops especially, is to consider it during the daytime and how it looked like during the evening, right? And there's so many different ways we could create something that works for both.
Yeah, but definitely number one thing to focus on when designing and styling your wedding. Guys, so hopefully you enjoyed that and got a lot out of it. But yeah, there's like so many ideas and so many ways that a wedding can go wrong. And there are also solutions to avoid those mistakes. So if you do want to know more, let us know down in the comments about more things that you want to know about wedding styling. And hopefully that will create the perfect wedding for you.
Thanks for joining us on Events by Design. We hope today's episode inspired you and gave you a fresh perspective on the power of thoughtful styling.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and subscribe on YouTube so you don't miss an episode.
Ready to start designing your own unforgettable moment? Head to JCAU Events _official or visit JCAU Events to connect with our team.
Until next time, design with purpose, create with heart.